While this is taking place, Brittney Griner comes out and says, I am so sick and tired of the WNBA. It used to be a peaceful, small little thing. Now there's crowds screaming, hollering. This is disruptive. It's not allowing us to play the game. This is her quote. I don't know if you saw this or not.
One of the strongest reality checks ever heard on a podcast came from Patrick Bet-David. After Brittney Griner made controversial comments about Caitlin Clark and hinted at racial issues, the conversation quickly spread everywhere, with people across the sports world weighing in on what she had said.
41. What the hell is going on with WNBA that they cannot handle all this attention that they're getting, as well as the hate and...
PBD, however, wasn't convinced by her argument. He completely rejected Griner's complaints about loud fans by pointing to her time in a Russian prison. His direct response left many people wondering what stood out more, his reminder of Griner's past or his explanation of why she should appreciate the attention the WNBA is finally receiving.
I'd have fun with you. Brittney Griner, what she says, right there, watch this. Every time we play her, there's this commotion, like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there watching.
Brittney Griner received a reality check she likely never expected. Here's what happened on Patrick Bet-David's podcast after she criticized the atmosphere surrounding Caitlin Clark and made comments that many felt carried racial undertones. PBD pointed out several uncomfortable truths that, in his view, she seemed to overlook after returning to basketball. It all started with Griner saying that WNBA games used to be quiet enough for people to bring laptops and work during them. Think about that for a moment. A professional athlete was complaining about fans being loud and fully engaged. Given who made the comment, many found it surprising.
To be a chill, quiet place, you could bring your laptop and relax, maybe even get a little work done. But now, it's like there's large gatherings of people watching us from the stands. Some of them are yelling crazy shit about what they're seeing, putting unfair pressure on us to score, like we're there for their entertainment. You are! The whole thing is toxic. I saw a guy with his daughter in the crowd, both of them yelling, couldn't hear what they were saying exactly, but it was either my performance or some light racism.
Griner said WNBA games once had a calm and peaceful atmosphere. Now, she explained, arenas are packed with fans who cheer throughout the game. She also said she feels more pressure because people now expect to be entertained. But that's exactly what professional sports are built around. Her most controversial remark came when she mentioned seeing a father and daughter cheering in the crowd. Even though she couldn't hear exactly what they were saying, she assumed it was either subtle racism or criticism directed at her performance. That was how she described the reaction of fans during a basketball game. Many people question her perspective because her first assumption involved race. In response, Patrick Bet-David didn't hold back. He reminded everyone that Griner had recently spent time in a Russian prison after serious legal trouble. She was eventually freed through a prisoner exchange that also involved the release of a convicted international arms dealer known as the Merchant of Death.
Brittney Griner was in a Russian prison. You would think that somebody who is now free, back in America on home soil, would not have too much to complain about. Especially something like this.
Griner's release came through a deal involving Victor Bout, who had been convicted of supporting terrorist groups and conspiring to kill Americans. The United States agreed to exchange that individual in order to bring Brittney Griner back home.
It doesn't matter what sport you are. It doesn't matter what sport you pick. That's how fans act in every arena. In every arena. So, and then when you, clearly she's not remembering who they let out to get her back.
The Merchant of Death.
The Merchant of Death. An arms dealer that wanted to kill American citizens.
After safely returning to the United States and getting another chance to play the game she loves in front of passionate fans, her biggest complaint was that the crowds had become too loud. PBD argued that someone who had experienced imprisonment in another country would usually place much greater value on freedom and opportunity. Instead, Griner appeared more bothered by the excitement of devoted supporters than grateful for it. Her comments became even more controversial because they came during the WNBA's greatest period of financial growth and popularity. For the first time in its 25-year history, the league is approaching $1 billion valuation, and much of that growth has been linked to the attention Caitlin Clark has brought to women's basketball. Griner's criticism of the same fan energy that is increasing league revenue, television ratings, and player salaries made her remarks stand out even more. Her comments about race also drew attention because they echoed concerns that some players have expressed about Clark's rapid rise. While PBD acknowledged that Clark's race may play a role in some of the attention she receives, he emphasized that her talent fully justifies the spotlight. In just her second season, Clark finished fourth in MVP voting. She plays an exciting brand of basketball and competes with an energy that attracts fans from all over the country.
He says they want to get paid more. They're saying this year they're going to make $1 billion. That's what they're saying, okay? For the first time ever. Now that Caitlin Clark is hurt for 2 weeks, did you see ticket prices? Insane. Let me read you the ticket prices. After Caitlin Clark's been hurt for 2 weeks. All right? So let's go through this. Caitlin Clark absence is having an immediate impact beyond the court. According to data shared by Yahoo Sports via TickPick, prices for 2 specific Indiana Fever away games against the Chicago Sky and the Washington Mystics dropped sharply after Clark was sidelined. Before the injury, the lowest ticket available for Fever's matchup in Chicago was $86. For the game in Washington, fans needed at least $41 to get in. After the news of Clark's absence, those get-in prices fell to $25 from $86 and $14.
PBD's podcast also highlighted ticket sales, making it clear who has been driving the WNBA's recent success. After Caitlin Clark was injured, Indiana Fever ticket prices dropped almost immediately. Tickets in Washington fell from $41 to $14, while Chicago tickets declined from $86 to $25. These weren't small changes. They were major drops that happened after the league's biggest attraction was no longer playing. Looking back, many WNBA games had been played before small crowds for nearly 24 years, making Griner's complaints about loud fans seem even more surprising. Players had become used to an environment with less pressure, lower expectations, and very little accountability to paying spectators. Clark changed all of that, and not everyone adjusted comfortably. Griner even described the old WNBA as a place where someone could bring a laptop and finish work while the game was going on, which many believe explains why the league struggled to gain widespread attention for so long. Too many people viewed games as relaxed events instead of major professional competitions. That attitude contributed to years of financial losses. One of the most noticeable parts of PBD's response was that he refused to let the discussion shift toward victimhood or racial controversy. He stayed focused on the facts. After returning from a Russian prison, Griner was given another chance to play in America and now benefits from the league's growing popularity through higher earnings. Yet her complaint centered on how loud the crowds had become. He strengthened his point by comparing the WNBA with other professional leagues. Athletes in the NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL regularly deal with hostile road crowds and loud arenas. That's simply part of professional sports. According to PBD, Griner appeared to want the rewards of professional athletics without accepting the pressure of entertaining paying fans. No major sport works that way. He also reminded listeners about her experience in a Russian prison, making her complaints seem even harder to understand. Someone who had lived through that situation would usually appreciate freedom and opportunity much more. PBD also discussed how some WNBA players have struggled with Clark's rise. He said those feelings are understandable, but explained that every sport experiences this when a once-in-a-generation star appears. He compared it to Michael Jordan, who also faced resentment and physical play because of the enormous impact he had on basketball, not because the media exaggerated his value.
And she wreaks havoc. She's the Rookie of the Year. She's fourth in the league in MVP voting. Fourth in the league, her rookie year.
Wow.
Outstanding. She's like Steph Curry. She can pull up from anywhere. You understand? She has that kind of capability. Didn't win a national championship. Lost to LSU one year, we lost to South Carolina another year, but she's outstanding and clearly worthy of being the number 1 overall pick. And what I was saying to everybody is ride the wave. Rising tide lifts all boats. The girl is spectacular. It's not like she's not a scrub. She's not only can play, she's a star caliber player who draws this attention. And maybe it's because that fan base that she has and her being a young white.
Clark is following that same pattern. The attention she receives is supported by real numbers. Her impact can be seen through ticket sales, television ratings, merchandise sales, and social media engagement. Those aren't opinions or media narratives. They are measurable results. Griner's comments about fan reactions and racial undertones became even more controversial because they suggested that people who simply wanted to enjoy basketball had negative motives. Assuming racism was behind a father and daughters cheering reflected a mindset that many viewed as suspicious instead of appreciative. The podcast argued that some WNBA players were not prepared for the pressure that comes with mainstream success. For many years, the league rarely dealt with intense criticism, high expectations, or constant public attention. Clark's arrival changed that by bringing greater exposure, higher standards, and increased accountability. Griner's experience overseas also gave PBD's message about gratitude greater weight. Many people expected that after surviving prison in Russia, she would value every opportunity to compete in front of American fans. Instead, her comments focused on complaints. Keeping the excitement that Clark has created alive is important for the league's financial future. If players push casual fans away with accusations of racism or criticism of crowd enthusiasm, the WNBA could risk returning to empty arenas and financial struggles.